Hola, from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva. Welcome to Not So Random Chat. It's Friday, y'all. Whew, it's Friday. Hey, Cass. Hey, Tatted Hearts. The world is exploding around us, y'all. God, my heart is grieving over so many different things that are going on right now. Hey, Angel. My heart is grieving over so much that's going on right now. So I'm just going to start with the first thing, which is the one that we all know about, the situation with George Floyd and the national reaction. I'm just going to put it like that. I know that we talked about them burning down the police station in Minneapolis yesterday. Today, they are on a curfew because the National Guard has come into Minneapolis. Today, earlier in San Jose, California, an officer was injured in one of the, protests that was there. They are protesting in the ATL, where my soror, the Honorable Keisha Bottoms, is pleading with the city of Atlanta to reel it in. Here in Los Angeles, they shut down the Harbor Freeway, which is the 110 freeway. They shut it down, and people were still stuck on the freeway. I think as late as 15 minutes ago. And the whole situation is sad to me because I believe that there are people out there who are truly out there about the business of trying to get justice for George Floyd. But I also believe that there are people who are out there in these peaceful demonstrations that are there specifically to cause chaos. And I know that a lot of minorities are being attracted to these gatherings because we feel that we need to speak out and we need to protest. But I'm pleading with people to take your own safety into consideration, because you do not know what tactics the police are going to use in order to bring some resolution. And I really don't want to see innocent people out there getting hurt, which is already happening. Someone told me, a friend of mine offline told me that we need to be careful, and they got this information from someone that they know that's military. We need to be careful because we don't know when they're shooting tear gas into the crowds or shooting quote unquote rubber bullets and stuff out to us. We don't know if they are actually trying to do something to contaminate us. I'm not trying to get everybody scared or anything. I'm just telling people to use wisdom. Use wisdom. Because we are in a vulnerable position right now. Many of us have been locked in our houses for the last 2 months. We're frustrated. We're ready to go off. But I don't know if that's really the right response, because I believe that there are people out there that are going to get off the message, that are causing it to get off the message, to cause distractions. Hey, Magnum. Hey, Maria. I don't understand. People, I understand the burning down of the police station. I believe that. I understand that. But I know in the long run, it's going to hurt the people in that particular community because now they don't have a police department. But maybe they don't care, in Minneapolis. Maybe they don't care because the police in that particular precinct or whatever they call them in Minneapolis were corrupt. I don't know. But I see people who have been locked up in their houses by choice or not choice for the last few months who are frustrated. Everyone's talking about it. It's the talk of the nation. It's the talk of the nation. And, they're starting to open everything up. Like California suddenly is opening everything up, except for the churches. Well, they are, but they're not. That's my next thing that I want to talk about. But I'll get to that in a minute. So everything is opening up. People are coming back out. And this is what they're coming out. Many of them are coming out to do because, a lot of people still haven't gone back to work because there wasn't a job to go back to. Hey, Miss Mahogany. Hey, Zero. All right. Let me talk about the church thing because I have to get this off my chest. I literally do. So I don't know about in other parts of the country. I can only speak for California. But I have a problem with churches being allowed to be open, but only limited to a maximum of 100 people. And you're opening up malls and department stores. I have a problem with churches being limited to 100 people. Now, I don't know if that's going on in other parts of the country. That's what's going on in the state of California. And, you guys know that this freaking governor came to my church when he was, trying to be governor. And he was around. This man was at every black church in LA. Let me just say that when he was trying to get those votes, he was trying to get our votes, and he was trying to get the Christian vote. Okay, and he's trying to get the votes in the synagogues. He's trying to get the Muslim vote. He was trying to get those of us who go to houses of worship vote. So he was going around to everybody, and this is how he treats us. But this is what the government thinks of religion or people who have people of faith. This is what they really think of us. We're not all Jesus fanatics, doing crazy stuff. But I feel that my rights as an American are being violated because I am not allowed to go to my house of worship, because what's going to happen is that now pastors are going to have to pick which 100 of their members are good enough to come to church. And then the rest of the church will have to look at it in cyberspace. Gone will be the praise and worship teams in churches that have praise and worship teams or choirs. That's gone. You can't touch nobody. You can't lay hands on nobody. You can reach your hands out and pray that the power in you reaches them, because God can do that. But I'm angry about that. I'm angry about that, not because yeah, I wanted my church to open up right away. No, that's not really what it was. I just wanted my church to have the right. I wanted churches and synagogues and temples and mosques to have that right. I wanted them to have the right to freely worship whoever they want, whoever their God is. That's what I wanted. And I'm real pissed off about the fact that they're doing this way in California. And he claims he's going to just do this for, a few weeks, going to see how it works out. But he's treating houses of worship like dirt. That's my feeling about Governor Newsom. So, sorry, y'all. I had to get that out. And see, for me, it's not even. It's about freedom of religion. It's about being able to do that. Now, I have loved being able to pray and do all of that stuff with my pastor in cyberspace. And believe me, the power of God can go through the internet. You can feel the power, all of that. But I still want to have the right to assemble if I want to. That's purely what it is. I want to have that right. I want to have that right. So I'm going to get off of that one. But I had to talk about that for just a few minutes. Because you guys, I was so upset about it. I was in tears. I was in tears doing prayer yesterday. I didn't want to talk about it last night because then I, went to prayer again today. And I still have this funky attitude about that. And that's just a little thing because there's so much more going on in the world right now with the pandemic, with people still dying, with their not having a vaccine. And personally, I don't think they're in any hurry to get one. I don't think they're in any hurry to get one. Nope. I don't think they're going to shut the country down again, though. I don't think any country is going to shut down again. We are just going to have to learn to live with this virus floating around the world. That's basically what it is. We're going to have to live with it floating around the world. Meanwhile, the thing I don't think we should have to live with, and I'm going to apologize for how I said this last night because I only talked about our Black men, our sons, our fathers, our brothers, our uncles. But in reality, the concern is about Black people getting killed too, because Black women get killed just as much as Black men. There are like 2 or 3 women who have been killed during this same time period, but we don't hear as much about the females. We do hear about our men. So, there was the girl, I think her name was Rihanna. There was another young lady. There's been several young ladies, and shouts out to I Am Eloho, who did a video earlier. I think it was today or yesterday. She did a video and really brought up the women that have lost their lives to police violence recently. I mean, let's not forget Sandra Bland. This is not just happening to our men. This is happening to our young men and our young women, and sometimes to our older men and women. But they seem to be targeting mainly our youth, those who are under the age of 40, the millennials, you know. But I think it's getting crazy here in LA. I believe some people are going to go to jail tonight because LAPD, when I last checked, and that was right before I got on, yeah, they were about to go down there and round up folk to arrest them because they've already given out any warnings that they're given. They're tired of telling the people to move it along. Hey, Tutu Thing Thing. Hey, Problem Child. They're tired of telling people to move it along. And I'm telling you guys, it's not just the people who are out there fighting about this police brutality. There are insurgents that are coming in and causing the chaos. And they're doing it purposely. They're infiltrating these things and causing this chaos so that the message is being lost. And meanwhile, all y'all are out there in these protests. Now, I do see people start out social distancing, but it doesn't last for very long. We need the protests, but we don't need, us getting arrested and having nothing done for that. One of the officers is in custody now. The other 3 are under investigation. Unfortunately, we don't know if they're out on administrative leave while they're under investigation. But since, as far as we know, only the one who's actually in custody in Minnesota was fired, what y'all think? Y'all think those other 3 officers are on administrative leave right now? Or do you think that they're not getting paid while they're being investigated? Let's think about that. So I understand why the people in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, are angry. But here's where I am. I was in Los Angeles in 1994 when the Rodney King verdict came down and they burned up South Central LA. I was here. I saw buildings on fire. And I also saw how long it took to rebuild all that was lost. And some things never came back. The policeman has been, they're not, I don't understand the charges that they're giving him because it's like 3rd degree manslaughter. Oh yeah, they burned this. Yeah, they burned CNN building down. That's up in which is that the one? I think that's the one. Is it the Atlanta office? That's what I just was talking about, Miss Mahogany. I was talking about the insurgents that are coming into the riots, that are coming into the protests to incite the riot. I didn't want to say it was the police that were going out there undercover, dressed as plain citizens to incite the riots. I didn't want to say that, but you said it for me. So yeah, that's the information that I was also told out here on the West Coast, that the riots are being incited by police officers dressed as citizens. They're not dressed as police officers. They're coming out there and they're inciting the riots. They're causing the chaos. And one of the protesters from one of the marches from yesterday said that there were people out there who were not part of their group that started the riots. And I believe that was in Minnesota. So that's what I was trying to say without saying it. But yeah, that's what I've been told as well, is that there are law enforcement who are going into these peaceful protests and inciting the riot. They are dressed as normal citizens. So you don't know that they're in law enforcement, but their job is to cause the confusion. That's their job. And that's what they're doing. That's the problem. And that's exactly problem, child. But the rioters are the police. The police are causing this BS. It's like they want a problem. You want a problem. But the problem is that it comes back on us Black people, because the majority of the people out there doing the protesting are us. So now it looks like we're out there doing the rioting when we're out there peacefully protesting, and then we have these infiltrators coming in there starting the riot, and it falls back on the entire group because they're not going to distinguish who's who. Yeah. In one situation, I heard that the undercover officer was bussed out by his girlfriend. The girlfriend said he was a cop, and that's how they found out. These people are not to be trusted, y'all. I was trying to say it nicer than Mahogany said it. You know, I was trying to say it was insurgents and, infiltrators. I didn't want to just come out and tell you it's the police doing this stuff. I mean, but think about it. We all know that it wasn't really the Nation of Islam that killed Malcolm. We know that was the government that sent in infiltrators into there to do their dirty work so it would look like it was the nation. I'm just letting y'all. There's multiple layers. They're trying to confuse the issue so that the real issue gets lost because of the rioting. They don't want the issues to be solved. These people want to continue acting the way that they do act. And this is no knock against good law enforcement. There are good police officers. I know. I dated one long ago, and we're still friends to this day. He's a good guy. But even he knows that there are bad apples within the police department, which he works in. I mean, out here in LA, who can forget about the Rampart division of Los Angeles PD? And when that investigation was finished, so many people's convictions got overturned. Some of them were legitimate convictions, but because of the shystiness that was going on within there. Hey, 1SP. I'm sorry, I'm running my mouth. because of the shiestiness that was going on within Rampart Division, they all got thrown out. I remember when that happened too. You know, I mean, when I came to Los Angeles, it was bad. I didn't even know what a battle ram was. They used to have battle rams here. You know, Daryl Gates. Now, even though he was the police, you know, over police chief here in Los Angeles, people in other parts of the country know about him because of the police corruption that happened under his watch. Same things in the city of New York. People remember who was in charge when all that stuff was going on. Now, the thing is that we know that with this situation with George Floyd, we know that this is not the first time that something like this has happened in Minnesota. This is just the one that got publicized. And my heart goes out to that 17-year-old girl who is the one who videotaped. She is the one who videotaped it. She was the steady hand that was videotaping that. And she watched that man die. Maria, I did see the video. I did see the videotape of her. It broke my heart. She was in tears. She was in tears. And she turned over her video to the police so that this man could be convicted. Now, as I said, I don't know if him being in jail is going to be enough for people, because people are still remembering Amber Geiger. That was just last year, y'all. That was just last year. And even though she was found guilty, she wasn't found guilty like she should have been. She wasn't found guilty like she should have been. Hey, Terry. I'm on a roll. Running my mouth. I will drop the link if anyone wants to come up and share their thoughts. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. If anybody wants to come on up, feel free. If not, I will continue to talk. Y'all know I can do that. I think it's going to be an interesting weekend, y'all, because the country is opening back up. Some states at record, breakneck speed. Like, they're open. Like, I'm telling you, within the last couple of days, they've like rushed through a whole bunch of stuff to open up. I believe that outside of Los Angeles, beauty shops are going to be able to open back up. Barber shops are going to be able to open back up. And I believe that the nail salon should be coming soon. So people can go get their hair done and get their nails done. But there are going to be limitations to it. Again, another reason why I have a problem with them limiting churches to 100 people. Let's think about it. Most churches have more than 100 members. Most synagogues and temples have more than 100 members. Most mosques have more than 100 people that come there. So why would they do that? Why? Because they don't give a damn about the church. And clearly. Because they weren't going, because he was not going to get out of the way and let people pray in California. I don't know why. Hey, Angel. Oh, I
Hey,
like that picture.
this is a picture of all my brothers. Because you see, the one in the red is me. The one in the gray on the other side is my brother Divan, whose birthday is tomorrow. And the one in the middle that none of us speak to all that often is the oldest brother of all of us, and his name is Dallas. It's not to say that we have anything against him or anything. It's just that many of us, me, my brother, and my sister, talk to each other more than we do with our brother Dallas. So the three of us have a better connection than our brother Dallas does with us.
I was glad to see your brother today over in Content's chat when you brought him on camera. That was really nice.
Yeah, I just wanted everyone to see my family and get to know my family bit by bit.
That was really good. Now, it's funny that you're up here because now I have the third thing that I'm going to talk about. It's not so nice, y'all. But there is a big YouTuber. I think her name is Micah Stoffer. And she and her husband had adopted a baby internationally. And they knew that the child had health issues, but I guess they didn't know that he had autism. And apparently autism is one of the things that he has. And so they have, after having him for I think maybe 2 or 3 years, they have now unadopted him and sent him to somewhere else. And they're getting a lot of flack on YouTube, and because people feel like they were exploiting their son to grow their channel.
Well, basically, what it sounds like to me is that it's exactly what you said: is them exploiting for the attention and fame of their channel. But if they got that child for adoption, why didn't they just like try to learn what or understand what he had? It's kind of similar to what my dad did when I was young, where he just wanted to straight up get rid of me from what I think, and he didn't even care to learn or like let me just be who I am, or just like, hey, what's wrong with you, or get some more understanding of what I had or what I was diagnosed. Because in 2002, he was looking for services to put me in, and that's where the whole group home thing came from. And in 2003, I was separated from my dad and my siblings because my dad had a serious alcohol problem, and he was so drunk that the cops called and they asked if there was any other relative or family member close by to pick us up. And my Auntie Kelly had to pick us up and bring her down to Bemidji in Minnesota. And
Mm-hmm.
she basically came and picked us up, and we were separated from our dad that year. And in that same year was when my siblings came back to Arizona, but I was put in a group home as a permanent position from '03 up until 2013, when the services that I had gave me the option to be in a independent kind of living situation, where they basically had me keep the staff services that I had, but have it be in home where I didn't have to have a staff 24/7 all the time. And forward 6 years after 2013, this is where I am now in the year 2020, independent. So I think that if they want to unadopt that kid, it's basically then not understanding what he had, just like how my
Yeah,
dad didn't
and to
understand
me,
what I
I
had.
felt they, you know, my feeling is that you're on YouTube. There are so many other people on here who have children on the spectrum, that they could have, reached out to the YouTube community. But I know that puts you in a very vulnerable situation, putting your business out there. But they were putting some of their stuff out there, and I think that if they had have talked to people instead of just talk to medical professionals, because the medical professionals, I feel, are the ones who made them think that the situation was hopeless. That's why I only will listen to so much from the doctors. If I listened to everything that the doctors had told me about my son would have never talked, ever.
And you want to know something? That's why I don't pay attention to very much what the medical professionals at any hospital tells me. Like just the other day when I was at work, a medical professional had gotten in contact with me because he wanted an update of my seizure medication because the one of my primary neurologists had prescribed me a medication called topiramate for my seizures. But it was such a high dosage that I just didn't want to bother taking that high of a pill because she prescribed me a 200 milligram capsule to be taken 2 times a day. And at that high of a dosage, what are the side effects and what am I going to happen? What is going to happen to me if I take too many or if I take too much? And a lot of times medical professionals don't know what they're doing.
Have you ever considered using CBD oil?
Yep, and that's what I take on a regular basis, other than my topiramate capsule that they prescribe me. CBD is basically my substitute.
I understand the CBD oil because my brother-in-law who has seizures. He takes CBD oil to, he takes the medication. He's not on as high doses as they had you on, but he does the CBD oil also to help to not have a seizure.
Yeah,
yeah, I was just wondering, because I know that will be a good substitute and you don't have the side effects.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I guess since I'm not in these people's shoes, I don't know. But I mean, I know I went through some times with my son where I thought I was going to lose my mind because of what he was dealing with, and I couldn't help him. But it never crossed my mind to give my son away. It just, it never crossed my mind. But I know that some parents are like that. And I just don't understand it. Because to me, it's like, well, in their situation, they adopted the child, but they knew that that this child had some special needs when they adopted him. Now, obviously, they wouldn't have properly known about the autism because I believe he was under the age of 1. So they may not have known about that, but I just can't see, even if he's severely autistic, I just can't see, unless he was violent, but we're not talking about an older kid. We're talking about a little kid. So, yeah, I just have a hard time with them. Now they put him in foster care. They put him with someone who I guess is medically trained. They felt like he had too many medical needs for them to deal with. So I don't know.
Problem child, yes, CBD does help with seizures. Problem child in the chat says CBD helps with seizures.
Yeah, it does. Problem child. Like a few years ago, it was like a big thing. Like you had parents who had kids with severe epilepsy that were moving to Colorado and other states where cannabis is legal so that they could get CBD. And because of moves like that, and because they have been able to prove medically that the CBD component works, that's the reason why CBD is now legal in all 50 states. So, parents don't have to move to a different state. They don't have to be accused of doing something crazy because they're giving their child CBD for their seizures. so that their child can, live a life that is as close to seizure free as possible.
Yeah, because the problem child now asked in the chat, does it help with adults? I wonder. Believe it or not, problem child, I'm a
Yes.
30-year-old adult, and I take CBD on a daily basis. And yeah, this face doesn't look like a 30-year-old; it looks like a 16 or 17. But
You have a baby face.
yeah, but from what my ID says and what the date of birth of when I was born, yes, I'm a 30-year-old adult, and yes, it does help with adults. Because I've had numerous people at work ask how old I was, and when I tell them that I'm 30, they don't think that I'm actually 30. They think I'm still 16 or 17.
Well, I mean, you see my son when he comes on the camera,
Yeah.
and he's almost 25. He's going to be 25 this year, but he looks like he's 16. But he's like 6'4", so because he's so tall, people are more inclined to believe that he probably is an adult. Yeah, and his voice is so deep, but but yeah, he has a baby face. You have a baby face. It's a good thing to have a baby face.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I love about both of us is that we have a baby face. But to go back about your thing that you mentioned about parents giving away their child, I still don't know what the exact reason of for my dad doing the stuff that he did because it felt like he was trying to give me away and have someone else take care of me. But I do thank him for doing that because I got the help that I needed in my life and also became more mindful and more smarter than the average person, not to gloat or anything. But
Yeah, and that was a different situation because your father, was abusing alcohol. But in this situation, that's not what's going. There's nothing going. They just don't think that they can deal with raising a child with special needs.
yep, exactly.
You know, and I guess for me because I don't know how I raised my son, but I did it. I did it. I figured it out. And maybe because he doesn't have any physical things going on with him, but believe me, just just having to deal with when he has meltdowns and trying to help him to get himself together and trying to help him to understand certain social cues, you know, that's a big deal, and trying to keep him consistently, and trying to fill in all the gaps.
Or the blanks.
Yep, exactly. Trying to fill the blanks in for him, but maybe everyone's not built for that. And maybe because that wasn't their actual biological child, maybe they didn't have that same, connection because there's no way in hell, I mean, even if I had known before my son was born, even if I'd known when I was pregnant that he was going to have autism, I would have still had him because I wanted him. So that it doesn't matter to me. I think that it makes his life harder. But I mean, I've told you before, when I see the things that you're doing, not making a comparison, it just gives me hope because I know that he will eventually be able to do more than he can do now.
Well, you just need to trust in your kid and trust in what he can do for himself. It's all about giving the kid the freedom of being able to know if he knows right from wrong, and if he does, and if he knows where he wants to go in life. You need to give the confidence and trust in him and give
And
him
that's
the.
all I'm doing right now. That's all I'm doing. I'm just trying, I'm trying to help him to get where it is that he wants to get,
Yep.
and, and trying to make him understand certain things he has to be able to do for himself.
But if there's ever a thing that he wants, like wants you to do for him, like let's say if your kid was ever asked to go on his first ever trip by himself, or if he wants to try to find a place of his own or something that is a greater challenge and he knows it, let him face that challenge, because challenges is all about overcoming the obstacles.
Yeah. 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 I mean, when he gets to the point where he wants to not live at home,
Yeah.
we'll discuss it. He hasn't gotten there yet. He thinks that this is his castle and it's mine. But you know,
I will say this: you are the queen, and your husband is the king, and your son is the prince.
yeah. But you know, I want him. I want him to get to the point where he's able to live on his own.
Yeah.
You know, I do. I mean, because everyone deserves the right to be able to live independently.
Yep.
And you know, I know that your job has really been working you, but I know that you're really glad about the fact that you're being able to handle all the hurdles and challenges that you had with it.
Yeah. Because for me, I'm all about like trying to go other places in life, and I've always knew that there would be challenges. But how would I be able to get as far as I am now if I didn't come across those challenges? Because if I just came across a challenge and just hit the stop button or the eject button and just quit, then I wouldn't be anywhere in life. And that's what I've done, is that every challenges that I came across, I've just tried to overcome it. And that's where I've been able to come in my life, is from overcoming the challenges and the hurdles.
I know, and you know, you surprise me at how well you handle everything. You really do. I mean, because I mean, you were separated from your siblings, but now you know you were able to reestablish those relationships with them, and I could see that your brother is so proud of you.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that you're able to be around your family, especially during this time, because
Yep.
so many people are not able to be around their family. But I mean, now that everything is starting to open back up, you know, I'm sure that more people are going to, you know, venture out. But I still tell people, keep your circles close for a while, because you don't know what other people were doing for the last 2 months and how they were living their lives. They may not have been living their lives safely.
And you want to know something? You had spoke a little earlier about how people over the past couple months have been staying at home and not going out or doing anything, or even trying to look for another job. And with what is going on now with the protests across the country, people are going out of their home and such, but none of them are barely wearing any form of safety protection, like a mask or anything.
Exactly.
This is more of a priority to them than finding a job to help sustain their family.
Yeah. And I can tell you guys that like from what I'm hearing, there will be another stimulus package, but they're not going to give that extra, you know, $600 that they were plopping onto people's unemployment, because I think they have now figured out that giving that extra money doesn't incentivize some people to go get a job, because they're making more money on unemployment than they would working. So they'll just sit home and collect that unemployment check.
Yep. Pretty much.
And I don't even understand. I'm like, now that things are opening up, and if you weren't working, I would be like running out, putting in applications, trying to get a job. You know, but you know, people, I guess, are not moving that quickly, because number one, they don't know if there's gonna be safety in the job environments now.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially if they are looking for office work, you know, Now, retail, I think that they're pretty much going to do what they need to do to keep the retail stores open. They don't want to have to go back to them being closed, because those companies will never survive being closed again. But offices, I think, are going to have to figure out different ways to have staff. I think that there's still going to be a lot of people who are going to be working remotely for a period of time until they figure that out.
Yep.
But at least now people can go out and shop. I guess all the people who are just dying to go shopping.
Well, basically, for those that want to go back to the everyday kind of life that they had before places started closing and before states and cities started putting these lockdown orders into place, they just want to get back to everyday lives. But for those that are depending on the government, are just mooching off of the government for their own benefit.
Well, I know for a fact that, just from the things that I'm hearing, and just because of how arduous it is with them opening back up the country, and there's still so many people who don't have a job to go back to, that there's no way that they're going to close the country down again. Because number one, Trump knows that all the jobs that were there when he came into office that were created, because of 44, they went bye-bye. So he got to figure out something to make people vote for him again. Because right now, people are looking at the federal government sideways in regards to this virus. They really, really are. He thinks that they're not, but we are. Because we still think that there is something that you're not telling us. And I don't care how much that man says he's taking that malaria drug. I personally think he is lying. I don't know what he's taking, but that's not it. He's telling us that's what he's taking. Just my personal opinion. Two thing. I would just lower the dosage on the CBD. Like if you're doing an edible, do like half of it instead of a whole one.
And if you want to know my honest opinion to make sure that you're taking the proper amount there, two thing, I would suggest getting the capsules, because I don't take the tinctures or the oil. I take the capsules because they're already the singly dosed, and I have the 30 milligram capsules that I take about once a day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. If capsules probably would be better, because you can measure the dosage. It's harder to know if the dosage is really what they said it is in an edible. And then with the tinctures, you just got to be real good with the drops. But I like to use the CBD oil, like for pain and in my joint. Works great. It works great for that.
And as you already know, I use the CBD for the prevention of my seizures.
Yeah, I mean, my son does the CBD. He does it more. It's more to help him to calm down, so to prevent a meltdown. It's to help prevent meltdowns. Hey, Cool Jen.
Hey, Cool Jet.
I saw you earlier in DS1's chat. Now that was an interesting conversation. Because and he made a very good point. Apparently there are some women, some Black women out there who no longer want to support getting justice for George Floyd because he was with someone who was not Black. Those women are tripping. Let me just say that. Because what does it matter who the hell he was with? He's dead for no reason other than some cop was racist and didn't like Black people because he wanted to make America white again. So I don't know what's wrong with those women, those young ladies.
And you know, we also live in a time where there are more interracial couples than ever before. And remember that Cheerios commercial that people caused a controversy with back in 2013?
Oh
Well, that
yeah,
commercial only helped out interracial couples even more.
yeah. And the thing is that it doesn't even matter. Um, this man should not be dead. So I mean, and but these are the same women who had an issue, you know, when Kobe died because his wife is not Black, and I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Because if they were in love with each other, then guess what? That's their relationship. But like you said,
and that's what I'm saying. It's like the thing is that it shouldn't matter. I mean, my preference obviously is to be with a man who is a Black man, you know, but I'm not going to, you know, have a problem with somebody else if that's who they want to be with. That's who they want to be with.
exactly.
Let them be with who they want to be with. It really doesn't matter.
Yep. Exactly.
You know, but those young ladies, and I'm using the term loosely because I don't really know if they, hey uppity,
Hey uppity.
you know, who had a problem with the fact that I guess his wife is not Black. I don't care. You know, you know, what does that matter? He's dead because he is. How about that part? You know, so they don't feel that he should be supported. Okay, crazy ladies. That's what I think. You know, all right. Uppity will be right back.
I like uppity. She's awesome.
I know. And I've heard everybody's talking about the weight that they've gained doing the stay-at-home orders. So anybody who's gained any weight, you can give it to me. I will take your weight. Because I have not gained any weight. I haven't gained any weight because I'm always at home. So I don't think I ate more. I think I cooked more because everybody else is home. So I've been cooking more, like cooking 2-3 times a day.
Well, I'm pretty sure I gained a bit of weight since I began my job at Walmart because whenever I work at the shift that I have and it's time for my lunch, I typically don't bring my own lunch or like a frozen meal with me. I typically either go to the McDonald's within the Walmart that is at the location that I work at, or I go to the nearest restaurant within the mall or the closest KFC or fast food place.
Wow. Yeah. I haven't had fast food in a minute.
And hell, I just ordered some pizza tonight when you were live.
Oh, you got pizza coming?
It was delivered about 20 minutes ago.
Ah, you got you some pizza. I had pizza last night because I didn't realize that I had I guess I had a bunch of points on Pizza Hut on the Pizza Hut app.
Yeah.
So I had enough points that I could order me a pizza, and I did. So last night we had a pizza, but tonight I cooked.
Ah.
And tomorrow I'm cooking. But tomorrow during the day, you guys, and I saw what you said, Mahogany. I agree. Somebody else's who someone else wants to be with doesn't matter to me. If they're not trying to be with me, why do I care? It's like, why do I even care? But tomorrow, you guys, I will be filming 2 scenes for a movie, for the movie of the play that is now going to be a movie. I'll be doing 2 scenes. The scenes I'm doing this weekend are going to be back in 89. So I have to dress in 1989 clothing. So I got that together. Yeah.
Well, I hope your project goes well. And I heard it's maybe on Netflix.
That they're going to be pitching it to Netflix. And I did talk to the producer tonight. And she says she is going to put it on YouTube. She's going to put it on the paid YouTube too. Yep, it's going to be on the paid YouTube. You know where you go and you can watch movies and you have to pay for them. She's going to put it on. She's going to put it on YouTube too. But I think she's only going to be charging like $3 or $4.
Oh wow, that's pretty cheap as opposed to some.
Yep, it's not going to be a whole bunch. Yeah, it's going to be affordable so that everyone will go take a look at it. Because if we charge like $20 or something, you're not going to get people to go look at it.
Well, I wish you the best of luck of scoring your documentary that you're working on to be on Netflix, because Netflix is a huge streaming service, and if any major producer or a production person sees the documentary on Netflix is interested, it could give you the opportunity to work on bigger productions.
That's what we're hoping. Well, we have a contract with her and her company, but the thing is that if it gets picked up, her deal is they have to pick up all the actors. All of us who are doing the acting in it have to be picked up too. So it's a package deal. So that's what we're hoping for.
Well, I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I've done plays before, and I've done filming for videos and stuff, but not a movie. I haven't done anything like that before. So this will be a new experience, but I think it'll be nice because, this came out of everybody being locked in. And so we had to figure out another way to put the product out, because even though we had pushed it out to August, we still aren't going to be able to put it out as a play in August on the stage, because right now it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to, they're going to be having things like that going on until the end of the year. So we're going to make it into a movie, and it'll get out there. And this will be better because people who aren't in the Los Angeles area will be able to see it. And we're able to put other things into it that we weren't able to do in the play version. Like there'll be flashback scenes, so things that are only spoken about in the play, there'll actually be a flashback of those things happening. So it'll be good. I think it's going to be really good. I'm really excited,
Well, like I said, I wish you the best of luck, because whatever happens, you're doing a good thing with this film that you're doing. But if Netflix likes it and has you be the actors in it, it's a huge opportunity for you.
Yeah. It's because this isn't it's not my profession, but I like acting. It's one of my things that I do, and if I get picked up, if it gets picked up and we get paid like big money for it, that would be nice. Or bigger money, because we're getting a little bit of money for it now, but if we can get a lot of money for it, in my eyes, then that would be nice too.
It'll definitely help out you and your son.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm excited about the project. And then, too, you know, one of the things that we had discussed is that if my son, as he gets, better, because he does a little bit of stuff, but if he can, memorize like the words in a couple of scenes and stuff, then they may, when we do it the next time, have him come in and do the younger version of one of the characters, because that particular character has special needs. So but I'm hoping for that, because you know he's done a couple of plays at church and stuff, but I think it would be something that he would like to do, because he likes going to the rehearsals with us.
The next time you see your son, which I'm guessing he's probably in bed right now, tell your son that his other autistic brother Angel said hi to him.
I will
I
most
seriously love
definitely.
your son. I've seen him a couple of times, and I even saw him back in April last month during Autism Awareness Month at the beginning of April, where you showed him on camera. He's
Yeah.
adorable, and he's an awesome person, and I love him. Let me
Oh
just
yeah, David is awesome. That's what I call we. That's what I call. He is awesome. You're awesome as well, Angel. You know that. I'm like we're all watching out for you. I'm like always watching out, trying to make sure that nobody tries to take advantage of you on YouTube. We're
yeah.
not gonna let them. We are not gonna let them. But I'm glad that you came up tonight. I really enjoyed you coming up. I
No
know.
problem. I'm guessing you're going to be ending it here in a
Yeah,
less
I'm
than a
gonna be
couple
ending
minutes.
it in a minute, because I want to be bright eyed and bushy tailed in the morning.
But before you turn your camera on and end it, I just want to say that the riots are not like proving anything or doing anything to help the case for George Floyd. The riots are only destroying communities, and what exactly is it doing? Nothing.
No,
And the looting, in addition to that, isn't doing anything either. I mean, if people want to complain about them not getting reparations, well, guess what? Looting and stealing is basically like your reparations right there.
yeah, yeah, it is. And the thing is that, like, the rioting is being caused by people who are coming into those peaceful demonstrations. There's they are still they're about to take, they're still messing with them down in LA, here downtown LA. They're still down there. They are still down there. I'm telling you. And it's what? It is 11 o'clock on the West Coast. They're about to arrest some folk. These crazy people are still downtown, just hanging out, just hanging out.
Because if they're peaceful and they're not causing any form of harm or damage, then just let them do their thing. But if they're like trying
No,
to,
they're like hanging out in the street.
yeah,
they're
because
like,
I see your point. Because there has been some cases of peaceful protests being disrupted by police.
yep. Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's who's doing the disrupting, and then of course the police. Then they're having undercover police who are dressed as citizens, who get
Yep.
out there and disrupt the stuff and cause the chaos. They it looks like threw they they busted out all the windows of one of the downtown Starbucks, busted out all the windows. It wasn't even open because they hadn't opened it back up because of for COVID, and so they just busted down all the windows. So they just dragged somebody off to jail. But they have them. They're walking with those plastic shields in front of them right now. They're not playing. All right, guys, I'm gonna come on camera. Thank you, Angel, for hanging out with me tonight and hanging up here on the panel. I appreciate it.
No problem, and you all have a great night. It's great seeing you as well, Terry. Love you, man. You have a great night. I'll
All
see you
right.
later.
All right, I'm gonna come on camera for y'all. Hey everyone. There is still chaos going on here in Los Angeles. I don't even know what to say anymore because it's and I know that these protests are being infiltrated by undercover cops and they're making it into these huge riots. But they're not going to tell you that. So I'm going to get ready to get off of here because I got to get some sleep because I do have I don't have to be there until tomorrow afternoon because my scene is not until the afternoon. But I will be up there early so I can watch some of the other scenes from a distance, of course, social distancing. And I don't know, I obviously won't be wearing these braids tomorrow. Well, I'll have them, but they won't be seen. Because I don't think they had purple braids in the 80s. Do y'all? No, I don't think so. All right. So I will see you guys tomorrow night because I will be on tomorrow night. I won't be filming all night. But until then, you guys, hopefully it will be more peaceful tomorrow. Hopefully there won't be all of this stuff going on that's going on today. But it's the weekend. So I don't know. But I'm going to offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. And I truly, truly hope that all of you guys stay safe. We got to find a different way than what's going on right now to get justice for people who are being killed by police officers. We got to find a different way. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, guys? Bye, everybody.